12 is 9 plus 3. So depending on what we are solving, we can decide to split a number. But I want you to hear from this man.
91 divided by 7. Be honest, what are you thinking at this moment? If you're thinking 7 goes into 91, that's not what we want. We want you, when you're faced yourself with a computation, that you do it the way we're saying you should do it.
But you can see the
what's the number bond?
You can see the test.
90 and 1. It's better than nothing. It's expanded form. But 1 doesn't divide by 7. 80 and 11. Does that work?
Yes, that is the same thing.
21. Does that work? What if a kid had thought 70 and 21 from the very beginning? Is this now an easy problem to do? What's 70 divided by 7? 10. What's 21 divided by 7? 3. What's the answer? 13.
Hello, ma.
Is this an intuitive strategy, would you say? I would say the problem with schools or districts
Okay.
not like math and focus, or they haven't adopted it well. Like I've been brought in to fix.
Okay, so number bound looks, let's say, is not helpful, but it's very helpful, right? So in confirming this relationship, we can do this. Instead of writing 12, we write 9 plus 3 divided by 3. Okay, because we know 12 divided by 3 is 4. So is it true? So we use the idea of number bound by say, okay, 12 is the same thing as 9 plus 3. So this is 9 over 3 plus 3 over 1, which is, 3 over 3, which is 3 plus 1, and which is 4. You see, you don't need to memorize the formula. You just, or you understand it. But I'm also interested in here. That's the reason. This is straightforward. To say what is 6 over 2 plus 8 over 2. So it is 6 plus 8 divided by 2. How about this? How about 6 over 5 plus 7 over 3? Now, if you want to solve this, no, you don't need to add the denominator together. First, what you need in math is the basic things that are the same. You need to know what is this. If, like, for instance, in Nigeria, if I give you 2 pieces of 500 naira, it's as good as I've given you 1,000 naira. So it's just the same. In the same way, you want to know the ones that are true. You know that 40, for instance, divided by 2 is 20. But you also know that 80 divided by 4, 40 divided by 2 is 20. 80 divided by 4 is also 20. Is that? Are you there? Okay. Then this is also equal to 60 divided by 3. Is that? 60 divided by 3 is 20. Don't think about it. And finally, this is the same thing as 20 divided by 1. Is that? So can you think of what is happening here? If you think of what is happening here, you will notice the basic number here is 20 over 1. Let's start with this 60 over 3. If you multiply 20 by 3, it will give us 60. Then we multiply 1 by 3, it will give us what? 1 times 3. 3. 1 times 3 is not the goal of GRE, but we are using it to build a very important foundation. In the same way, here, let's start by putting 15 here. Plus, and also putting 15 here. We now ask ourselves, the first 15, what can we multiply with 5 to give us 15? That is 3. By the way, this 15 is also the LCM of 5 and 3. Oh, but must you call it LCM? So you must not. All this is for you to solve problem. You need to understand this inside out. So whether you call it LCM or not doesn't really matter. What matters now is that you want to create the same denominator. And you can put them 15, 15. You could have also put it something else. But let it be the same denominator. Only that the choice of the denominator will now decide what will be the numerator. If the denominator is here is 15, it means you multiply by 3 for the first one. So you also multiply this one by 3. That would be 18. 3 times is 18. The second one, to get 15, you multiply by 5. 5 times 3 is 15. That means the numerator, you also need to multiply it by 5. 5 times 7, 35. Now we are back to using the same formula, the same concept rather. That is, add the numerator, take the denominator. 18 plus 35. 18 plus 35. That is supposed to be automatic. You have to make certain things automatic. Right. You have to make certain things. Yes, it's 53. Unless maybe sometimes you didn't get it because you didn't look well. If you want to do 18 plus 35, you already know, for instance, that 18 plus 32 is 50. Or if you don't want to use that, you can use 35 plus 15 is 50. So it's remaining 3. So you get your 53 over 15. So sometimes the equation, to use the same denominator, the equation might not be the same denominator. You are the one that is creating it. That is all the information I want to pass. Next concept. Different denominator. So different denominator is already this one we did now. Okay, so you can also use the method here, the method outlined here. Now let's apply this new method to the one we solved. What did we solve? We solved 6 over 5 plus 7 over 3. If you look at the method outlined here, it is to multiply the denominator, which is 5 times 3, 15. Then cross multiply 6 times 3, 18. So 6 times 3, then plus 5 times 7. Okay, so that is basically the same 53 over 15. So that is the same thing. Let's move on now. Here we said, this is the same thing. Assuming we have 6 over 5 minus 7 over 3. If we use our former method, so that is 18 over 15, we put minus 35 over 15, which will now give us, why is it 18? Yes, 6 over 5 minus 7 over 3. Yeah, 6 over 5 minus 7 over 3. Okay, so that will have given us negative. 18 minus 35 is what? 18 minus 17. So that is minus 17 over 15. So if you use the other method too, you will get minus 17 over 15. Let's go now. Multiplying fraction. Just multiply out the fraction. I think it's just to remember here that you multiply the numerator and you also and the numerator together, the denominator together. Dividing fraction. So this is where there is a little work. But how can you set up equation to understand this? You use something you know. You know that 100 divided by 5 is 20. You know that 20 divided by 4 20 divided by 4, you know that is 5. But 20 divided by 4, 20 divided by 4 is what? You can set up 20 divided by 4. No. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Yes. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So we can set up 4 anyhow we like. We can call it 8 over 2. So we can call it 8 over 2. The purpose is to understand what is going on here so that we can now call this 100 over 5 times what? Times what? 8 over 2. No. I want you to follow. Are you seeing the formula? The formula said divide. Flip the second fraction. Flip the second fraction. Right? Meaning that 8 over 2 becomes...
So it divides 2 over 5. Okay, so if it's divide, we flip the fraction.
Yes, that is it. I'm only want to demonstrate it. Demonstrate it so that you don't go about memorizing it. Now, remember that we want to get what as an answer? The answer we want to get is 5. Because 20 divided by 4 is 5. Now we have 100 times 2, 200. 5 times 8, 40. 0 cancels 0. So we are back to 20 divided by 4, which is 5. Next concept. This concept compares 2 fractions. Again, make 2 fractions that you like and see whether these formulas work. Because you are confirming it. So you understand what is going. You know, a lot of things are not confirmed. So one of the reasons why the bishop that went to meet that went to the presidency is because what is said is not being confirmed, right? What I mean by not being confirmed is if the presidency is saying that Nigeria is doing well and the masses are not saying, so things are not being confirmed. But if you confirm something, it is easier. No need of introducing contradiction. So at the end of this class, when you read maths, try to confirm it. Look at this. We know that 20 divided by 4 is 5. And we also know that 9 divided by 3. 9 divided by 3 is what? 9 divided by 3 is 3. So 20 divided by 4 is greater than 9 divided by 3. But in fraction, we confirm this by cross multiplying. 20 times 3 is 60. 4 times 9. 4 times 9.
4 times 9.
18 plus 18, 36. You see that one is greater. Let's also flip this. We know that 1 over 5 is what? 1 over 5 is 0.2. And 1 over 2 is 0.5. 1 over 5 and 1 over 2, which one is greater?
1 over 5.
1 over 2 is greater. So if you cross multiply like this, if we do like this, 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. So the one that is higher is the one with the higher fraction. That is what this concept is saying. Next concept, distributive property. You will notice that distributive property is what we already studied, right? That first, you see that A over B plus C over B. If you do it now, it's going to give you back A plus C over B. Next concept, reciprocal. Reciprocal simply means turning a number upside down. But this concept is also saying that if you multiply a number and its reciprocal, it will give you 1. For instance, 2. The reciprocal of 2 is 1 over 2. But then 2 times 1 over 2 equals 1. That's all it's saying. This is saying that fraction to percent. If you want to convert fraction to percent, you multiply by 100. By the way, 50% is what? 50% means half. Is that not? Uh-huh. So if you have half that you want to convert to percent, that is half times 100%. And you see that 100 divided by 2 is 50%. Next concept here is square and square root. Let me just demonstrate for you. You see that 2 times 20. 2 times 20 is what? 40. Now, using number bound, 20 is the same thing as 4 times 5. You see that if you want to do this, if you want to open this bracket, the bracket will only multiply, 2 will multiply only one of these numbers. That will be 2 times, this is going to be 2 times 4, which is 8, times 5 is 40. See, that is correct. But because if 2 multiply 4 and 5, it will not give you 40. That will have given us 80. But if it is a square, think of 36. Think of 36. Okay? Divided by 4. Squared. You notice that, but this is too big. This number is too big. We can try something, but let's use it. There's no problem. Only that is going to force us to do a large calculation. But you know that what this is supposed to give us at the end of the day is 9 squared, which is 81. So let's work this out. At least we know that 4 squared is 16. What is 36 times 36? Can you work it out? 36 times 36.
That's 1,296.
Can you confirm that 1296 divided by 16 is 81?
Yes.
Okay, but if you had squared only 1, so it will not give you. So in square and in square root, we are going to expand everything. Next, cross-cancellation. What is it all about? We have already done it before, right? It's just like you have 20 over 5, which is 4, times 30 over 10. So the answer here is 12. But cross cancellation, that you can also use 10 to cancel 20, which is 2. Then 30 divided by 5, which is 6. 2 times 6 is 12. That is just what is cross cancellation. Successive percent changes. All right, this is the one where I think we have said this before. To increase the number by 20%, you multiply by 1.2. To decrease the number by 20%, you multiply by 0.8. You know, sometimes, like even now, the price of fuel is increasing. Sometimes it will increase. So the price of fuel will increase and also decrease. Especially for the because of the current Iranian war. So sometimes it will increase or it will decrease again. So you can increase and decrease. You increase by 20% times 1.2. You multiply by 0.8. Sorry, you increase by 20%, that is 1.2. You decrease by 20%, that is times 0.8. 1.2, why? Because 20% increase means 120. 120 means 1.2. 20% decrease means that 80% is now remaining. 80% means 0.8. In this case, 1.2 times 0.8 is 0.96, meaning 4% is missing, or 4% decrease. That is the same concept here. Okay? It's only showing how to get up 40%. Up 40% is 1 plus 40 over 100. See that 40 over 100 is 0.4 plus 1, that is 1.4. Down 25% means 100 minus 25, which is 0.75. Okay? 0.75. I think that's all for now. If you like, we can start this practice. So let's quickly take the practice. We still have 4 minutes. One over 4 plus 3 over 4 is 1, right? The same denominator you add. One over 3 plus 1 over 4, different denominators. 3 times 4 is 12. Then we have 4 times 1 here plus 3 times 1 here, 3. That is 7 over 12. 3 over 4 minus 1 over 3, the same 12 as the denominator. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. 5 over 12. 2 over 5 times 3 over 7. Multiply numerator, multiply denominator. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 over 4 divided by 9 over 8. Remember, this will be 3 over 4 times 8 over 9.
Times 8 over 9.
So that is what? This is going, this is going. We have 2 here. This is going, this is going. So we have 3 here. Compare 5 over 8, 3 over 5. This, that is 25 here. 5 times 5, 25. 8 times 3 is 24. So 25 is greater than 25. 5 over 8 is greater. Which correctly apply the distributive property? Remember the distributive property. They are saying A over A plus C over B. What gave rise to this? Of course, A over B plus C over B. A over B plus C over B. Reciprocal of 4 over 9. Try that one.
That's 9 over 4.
Thank you. Convert 5 over 8 to percent. That is 5 over 8 times 100%. Okay? 100 divided by 8, or you can say 500 divided by 8.
That's
62.5. Next one. 2 over 3 all squared. Remember, we square everything. We square 2, we square 3. We square 2, 4, we square 3, 9. 4 over 9. Next question. A price rise 20%, then fall 20%. That is, rise 20%, 1.2. Fall 20%, that is 0.8. Multiply together, you get 0.96. 0.96 means that we are left with 96%. 96% means that 4% is missing. And how to write it is minus 4%. Is that not? Do you agree with me?
yes.
A quote rise 40%, that is times 1.4. And falls 25%, that is times 1. That is 0.75. 1.4 times 0.75. Fast. 1.
That's 1.05.
1.05. How do we interpret 1.05? 1.05 means 5% increase because this is the sentence as 105, so 5% increase. Okay, so this is the cross multiplication. Let's pay attention. 18 over 48 times 64 over 56 times 26 over 39. So let's pay attention. Let's look at this and think of the higher numbers we can move first. So let's think of the higher numbers we can move first. I think something can divide both 48. Yeah, hold on. What can divide 40? Let's start from this 48. What can divide 48 and 60? How about 16? How about 16? Okay, so let's start with that one. 48 here is going to be 3. 64 divided by 16. That is 4. Okay, so let's finish with this 3. Let's finish it. 18 divided by 3 is going to give us 9. So that 3 is no longer that. No, that's going to give us 6. 6. Now, let's continue with 56. I think something can divide 56 and 26. Is that? No, I don't think. Rather, something can divide 26 and 39. Is that? That is 13, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is going to be 2. No, yes, this is going to be 2, and why this one is going to be 3. Okay, so let's finish with this 3 as numerator. We are finished with it. It's no longer there. It has divided this 6 to give us 2. Now, let's continue with 56. We have not touched this 56 at all. What can divide 56? Do you know 4 can divide 56? Okay, what?
16 can divide 56.
Yeah, that means if 16 can divide 56, 8 can divide it too. Okay, but for the sake of clarity, let's use the 4 that we are seeing here. Okay. Okay, so we are using the 4. 56 divided by 4 is what?
That's 14. That's 14.
Okay, that is 14. So we take everything here out and have 14. So that what we now have is 2 times 2 over 14. That is, we now have 2 times 2 over 14, which is...
That's 1 over 7.
Oh no, 2 over 7, right?
Yes.
4 over, that 4 over 14 is 2 over 7.
It's 2 over 7, sorry, not 1 over 7.
Okay. All right. We have successfully completed the test. So thank you for joining me. I hope you take your time to go back to the concept, review the concept, and attempt this. Why they may not be, they can still ask some of them. Yeah. So GRE questions or GMAT can also be like this. It can also be this simple, especially if you are not getting a lot correctly. But it's not our prayer that we will not get a lot correctly. Okay, so thank you, and we continue next time. Bye.